There are moments in life that your body understands before your brain does. Moments where your instincts are already screaming, already calculating exits, while your conscious mind is still whispering, "Relax, you're being paranoid. Everything is fine." That night in Arizona, everything was not fine. It started the way most bad decisions do, with exhaustion and desperation in equal measure. 3 of us had driven from Pennsylvania to Arizona in one single stretch. No hotel stops, no real sleep, just rotating shifts behind the wheel, fast food eaten in a moving car, and the kind of tired that gets into your bones and stays there. 35 hours. By the time we crossed the Arizona state line, it was past 1 in the morning. There were 2 women in the car, one driving, one riding passenger, and me in the back seat. We were close to our destination. Punchy, borderline delirious, but close. Then the fuel gauge told us we weren't going anywhere. We pulled up the map. The only gas station listed as open within range was located inside Petrified Forest National Park, 3 miles past the park entrance. A gas station, inside a national park, open past midnight. We questioned it. We double-checked it. It didn't make sense. But the needle was dropping fast, and we had no other options. So we turned off the highway, and we drove in. There are no words that fully capture what darkness looks like when there is absolutely nothing competing with it. No streetlights, no passing cars, no distant town glowing on the horizon. Just our headlights cutting a narrow tunnel through the black, and on either side of that tunnel, nothing. The park stretched out in every direction like an absence rather than a place. Ancient, petrified forest, silent and still, swallowed completely by the night. You couldn't see where the road ended and the wilderness began. You couldn't see anything beyond what the headlights touched. And what the headlights touched was just empty road. We drove those 3 miles without saying much. I think we were all doing the same thing, quietly monitoring the feeling in our chests, asking ourselves whether the unease we felt was reasonable or just the product of 2 days without proper sleep. Then the gas station appeared. It materialized out of the darkness like something that had no business being there. A small, low building, a single pump, lit by a pale overhead light. No other cars, no attendant visible through the locked glass door of the store, just the pump, running, as if someone had simply left it on and walked away. My friend pulled us carefully into the tight lot. She and the other joked, half-heartedly, that since I was the only man in the car, I should be the one to get out and pump the gas. We all knew it wasn't really a joke. Nobody wanted to step outside. The air felt wrong. The silence felt wrong. The whole situation, a solitary gas pump, glowing in the dead center of a lightless national park at 1 o'clock in the morning, felt wrong in that quiet, bone-level way that your instincts recognize long before your brain catches up. But the tank needed filling, so I got out. I swiped my card. The pump accepted it. I lifted the nozzle and started fueling. And the moment I did, the exact moment, lights appeared in the distance. I want to be precise about this, because the timing is the part that still gets to me. Not before I got out of the car, not while I was walking to the pump. The instant I started fueling, headlights bloomed in the darkness, far down the road, like they had been waiting for a signal. Now here's what you need to understand. We had driven 3 miles into this park. 3 miles of absolute, total darkness. You could see the blackness stretching for miles in every direction. There had been no other vehicles on that road with us. No lights anywhere. Only our headlights and the faint glow of the pump. So where had these lights come from? I said through the window, casually, the way you say something when you're trying to sound calm, "Must be a park ranger." Even as the words left my mouth, I knew I didn't believe them. I was talking to myself, performing reassurance I didn't feel. The lights moved closer, high beams, aimed directly at the pump, at me. The vehicle rolled along the narrow park road at a pace so slow it felt deliberate. almost like it was taking its time, almost like it wanted me to stand there and watch it approach. When it finally got close enough for me to make out the shape, it wasn't a park ranger. It was an RV. Behind the wheel sat a man, skinny, glasses, mustache, baseball cap. Alone, no passengers that I could see. My first thought was logical. He's in the same situation we are. Low on gas, no other options, had to pull in here. That made sense. That was a reasonable explanation. But then he did something that made no sense at all. There was a second pump, unoccupied, wide open. He drove right past it. He swung his RV around and positioned it facing our car. He kept moving forward, slowly, deliberately, closing the distance between his vehicle and ours, inch by inch, at less than 5 miles per hour. The high beams were still on, flooding the lot, shining directly at me as I stood at the pump. I could see his face clearly now. He was smiling at me. Not a polite smile. Not the smile of a tired traveler glad to find another human being at one a minimum, in the middle of nowhere. He smiled the way someone smiles when they want you to know they're in control. And he kept coming. Closer. Closer. I glanced through the car window at my friends. No words. We didn't need words. Their faces said everything. Wide eyes, rigid posture, the specific stillness of people who are very, very scared and trying not to show it. We were all communicating the same thing in total silence. Something is very wrong. The RV was nearly on top of us now, still moving. Our car was at the pump, completely immobilized, and this man was about to make contact with us at a crawl, in the pitch dark, in a national park where nobody could hear anything. That's when my friend in the passenger seat made a decision. She reached over, and she laid on the horn. The sound of that horn splitting the absolute silence of the night, I will never forget it as long as I live. It was like a gunshot in a library. It tore through the darkness and the tension and the unbearable quiet all at once. The RV stopped. It sat there, just yards away from our car, engine running, high beams still on, and the man behind the wheel, he looked at me, raised his hand, and waved. Slow, apologetic, still smiling. I didn't need to think about it. I hung up the nozzle, tank not even close to full, and got back in the car. I didn't say let's go. I didn't have to. The second my door clicked shut, my friend was already moving. But the RV had positioned itself perfectly. We couldn't go forward. He was blocking the only exit. The road out was directly behind him. We had one option: reverse off the asphalt, into the dark, unpaved forest, and try to angle ourselves back toward the road from there. So that's what we did, reversing slowly into the dark, off the pavement, onto uneven ground we couldn't see, maneuvering in a space that was not meant to be driven through. And the whole time, the man sat in his RV, not getting out, not fueling up, not moving at all, just watching us. When we finally got the angle right, my friend floored it. We got back on the narrow park road and drove as fast as we dared on that dark, tight path back toward the highway. Every few seconds, someone looked back through the rear window. Were the headlights following us? They weren't. In fact, as soon as we cleared the station, the RV's headlights went off. Complete darkness again, like it had never been there. We didn't speak about what happened until we were back on the highway, until the park was miles behind us and the normal world, lit roads, other cars, the ordinary sounds of night travel, had surrounded us again. Only then did any of us feel safe enough to process it out loud. And when we did, one thing became very clear. That RV had been parked in the darkness of the forest. Lights off, engine quiet, waiting. There is no other explanation. We had seen nothing on our drive in, and in that level of darkness, you would have seen headlights from a considerable distance. Something that size doesn't just appear out of nowhere the second someone steps out of a car at an isolated gas pump. It had been there, hidden in the black, the whole time, waiting for someone to stop. We've turned the rest of it over in our minds many times since that night. What would have happened if we hadn't honked the horn? If we'd let him close that distance and make contact with our car? Would he have come out apologizing? Sorry, let's all get out and check the damage, and use that moment to separate us from the safety of the vehicle. To get 3 disoriented, exhausted travelers out in the open, in the dark, 3 miles from the highway, in a place where nobody was watching. Was he actually alone in that RV? We will never know. And I mean this sincerely. I am very glad we didn't stay to find out. Stay safe, guys.